Hi everyone, and welcome back to. Actually, it's been a while since our last IMCO in 5 minutes. So I'm glad that you're here. Glad that you can join me. My name is Jonathan Chan, and I usually do an IMCO once every 2 weeks. But man, it's been a while. When was the last one? It was like 4 months ago. Well, my apologies. There has been a lot going on these past few months. Notably, the protests in Hong Kong, and of course, recently, the protests in Hong Kong, Trump's administration, Canada's issues with the indigenous communities with regards to the pipelines, and now most recently and still current, because today's date is May 7th, 2020, we're still under the lockdown, so to speak, or the quarantine or self-isolation, social distancing with regards to COVID-19 pandemic. So we're still in that. We're not out of the woods yet. Apparently, there's a light to the end of the tunnel because our health authorities are saying that in BC, anyway, in British Columbia, our cases are now slowing down. I think over the weekend we only had 8 recorded cases, but still there are deaths, and that's nothing to ignore. And so if you've experienced a loss of a loved one due to COVID-19, my condolences to you, and my prayers are for you, and my thoughts are over to you as well. Even though we may not know each other personally, I am convinced and convicted that through a community of prayer, we are all in this together. And so, let's move on to today's IMCO in 5 minutes, the long-awaited return of IMCO in 5 minutes. Well, it's no longer 5 minutes because I just used up 2 minutes of your time with regards to an intro. Well, anyway, to the point. So it's May 7th, 2020. As some of you know, in 3 days' time, we're going to be coming to celebrate an annual tradition called Mother's Day. And so typically, I myself, being married to a wonderful wife, I'm like surfing through the net looking for Hallmark cards or inscriptions, because I can't really go out to buy one due to the COVID-19 lockdown. But definitely I could write out some stuff, right? And so I needed some inspiration, some ideas. But then every time I came across a Hallmark card, actually for myself anyway, I see that many times it's a lot about thanking what the mother has done. So, in other words, like especially like those children ones. Oh, thank you for mending my boo-boos. Thank you for teaching me school during the lockdown. And thank you for homeschooling me. Thank you for cooking all the wonderful meals that you have done. And thank you for cleaning the house. Thank you for bathing me. Thank you for this and that. Then I realized that it brought up a good point. It just dawned on me that, wait a minute, my wife works. She's a banker. She's an assistant branch manager for a financial institution. And so she's known as an essential service. So she has to go to work 5 days a week from Monday to Friday. So guess where the motherly duties fall on? Guess who these motherly duties fall upon? Myself. And you know what? It's not just during the COVID-19 pandemic. I've made a decision, both my wife and I made a decision that I would be the stay-at-home dad because my office hours are flexible. I am able to work from home. A lot of my meetings are usually in the evening anyway, and I could do this through recordings and online Zooming and everything here at home. So I could do a lot of my work at home. And so my wife goes out and works and does her thing over at her branch. So by this Hallmark's definition, by their inscriptions, by what they wrote in those cards, I should actually celebrate Mother's Day for myself. I should say Happy Mother's Day to me, right? Because I fulfill all those tasks and roles. I cook, I clean, I do all the housework, I do the homeschooling for my daughter, my 8-year-old daughter, and so by all definitions, based on Hallmark, according to Hallmark, I should be the one celebrating Mother's Day for myself. Everyone else in my family should say Happy Mother's Day to me. But then it got me curious. I just went over and took a look at Father's Day cards and take a look at their inscriptions. And then it says, you provide for me, you do sports with me, you play baseball with me, you play catch with me, etc., etc., etc. What typically a father would do. And I said to myself, okay, I do that too. Of course, I could say Happy Father's Day to my wife because she provides for us. Her income is a lot larger than mine. And so I could say Happy Father's Day to my wife, but I don't think she would appreciate that. But I could say Happy Father's Day to myself too, right? And I could say that I could celebrate Father's Day for myself as well. So the question is this: what really is it? What does it really mean to be a mom? And what does it really mean to be a dad then? If it's not about tasks, if it's not about gender roles of the old school traditional gender roles, what does it really mean to be a mom? And what does it really mean to be a dad then? Now, I'm bringing this point because recently I just saw a movie on Disney Plus with my daughter. It was called Onward. And interesting enough, it was about a story of these two boys, one older and one younger, who basically was looking for a chance to meet up with their father, who apparently passed away when they were young. And so when it came to a point when the younger sibling, who never really got a chance to know his father, came to a point where who was to see the father for the last time, the younger one actually realized that his father figure, the one who played that role, was his older brother. And so his older brother's father figure was actually the biological dad, but for the younger brother, the actual father figure for him was his older brother. And so the question again comes to play. What does it mean to be a mom? And what does it mean to be a dad? Because now that you could have older siblings as your mom to play the mom figure, you could have mentors to play your father figure or mother figure. So what does it really mean to be a mom, and what does it really mean to be a dad, other than the difference between a penis and a uterus? Because of course, I cannot say that I cannot speak on my behalf of being a complete biological mom because I don't have a uterus, nor did I give birth to my child. I can't bear children. Although, based on one movie back then starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, there is a possibility. But you know that the point. So the question is a good question. What is a mom and what is a dad? Because if the gender roles are now obsolete, especially now today when both parents either work or one parent stays at home and one parent goes to work, or when there are same-sex parents, if these traditional gender roles are no longer valid, which I firmly believe, in my opinion, it's not, because I'm speaking on my own behalf, that I fulfill many of those motherly roles that Hallmark describes. What really does it mean to be a mom, and what really does it mean to be a dad? I think this question is a great question for all of us to discuss. Feel free to comment in the comment section below. Come back at me, give me feedback, respond, ask me questions. I'll ask you questions. We'll just have a wonderful discussion. Or you could bring it to your small group. If you attend a church, if you're a listener, or you're watching this and you're a Christian and you attend church, a small group or a cell group, I think this is a great time to actually bring up this conversation, especially during this time of COVID-19 when both parents are sharing the duties, are sharing the roles. Or if you're in your friends and family, discuss that as well. Discuss this question amongst each other as well. Because I think it's time that we revisit this whole role thing of what it means to have a motherly role and a fatherly role. That's my opinion. My name is Jonathan Chan. I am the Executive Director at Company of Disciples Christian Ministry Society, where our mission is to help business professionals become exemplary leaders by living exemplary lives. Thank you for listening. Have a good week.